Good morning, Periscope. Good morning, everyone. And please say good morning to Padma. She's my show opener and she just loves the camera. Say hi, Padma. Yeah, she just loves the camera. Now let me see if I can remember. How do I flip this over again? It's been a while. Swipe down to stop double tap. All right. Good morning, all. Hello there. Thank you for joining. So, it is not a very beautiful day in the neighborhood here in Florida. We had a crap load of rain. It was just storming horribly all last night, and it's still a lot overcast here, and it was just not a great start to the morning. Yesterday, I did a Facebook Live post because my day started off crappy. And today, I won't say it started off crappy, but there were these chain of events again that started to happen, and I just had to pull back and I canceled an appointment. And so I'm back home, and it brought me right back to the same subject matter. And I said, you know what? I did a Facebook post, but I didn't do a Periscope. And I wanted to throw this out there about self-discipline and your energy level. And I am so rude. For those of you that don't know, I'm Marjorie Phoenix, and you can find me at marjoriephoenix.com. I'm an author, a speaker, and the founder of the Forgotten Women Project. Now, energy level. Yesterday morning, I had this whole thing planned, and it was my daughter's half day in school. The last 2 days of school, they're in school until noon. So there was so much that I needed to get done. Plus, I had schoolwork and I had my business to do. So I started off the day, and we were going to be printing these invitations, and she needed the invitations to give to her friends because it was the last day. And I ran out of ink, and I said, that's okay, sweetie. I'll drop you to school. I'll go to Staples. I'll get some ink, print them out. I'll have them to school within the hour. Well, I went to Staples. They didn't have the ink that I needed. So I started thinking, what am I going to do? So I called the nearest Staples, which is about 15 miles away. They weren't open. So I went and I killed some time in Walmart that I loathe. I don't like Walmart. I don't like shopping there. I just don't. And I figured, you know what, it can't be too bad. It's early in the morning. Well, whether there's tons of people there or not, the experience still is not pleasant. So I stood in line with like 10 other people with one cash register out of maybe 30 that was opened. Anyway, after I got out of that, the Staples 15 miles away was open, so I decided I'll venture down there. So during the drive, well, you know what? Let me give a family member a call. Now, I usually know that whenever I call this family member, it's not always a pleasant conversation. It causes a little bit of stress for me. But this is my family duty. This is what I do. I've got to check in, and I did. And of course, by the end of the conversation, 15 miles later, I could feel my anxiety level rising up. I can feel it, right? I can feel it in the pit of my stomach. I feel a little warm. And I'm like, okay, I just feel myself like sort of losing it a little. I go into Staples. They've got tons of the ink for me. And I had this wonderful $5 off coupon that I got in my email. Well, when I got there, I couldn't find the email. I couldn't find the coupon. And I'm going and I'm strolling and I'm looking for it. And I'm like, this is my coupon. You sent it to me. It's my reward. I should find it. And they're just looking at me. Well, I'm sorry, ma'am, if you can't find it. And I'm determined I'm not buying this damn cartridge without this $5 off. And I could feel myself. I know, especially when they're on your phone. It's like, why is it this coupon disappeared all of a sudden? It was like the universe was conspiring against me. And I was just, and I could tell I was very short with the customer service guy, and I could just feel myself getting upset. And finally, after digging and digging, the manager just came over. He didn't say a word. He just took the $5 off on the register. Thank you. I appreciate that. But when I left there and I got in my car, I realized that I was becoming a real bitch in that moment. And all of that was because all of this anxiety and everything that started to build up in me. My drive down there, having that conversation, and then also looking at everyone that was in my way in the traffic because I have somewhere to get to and I'm trying to get to my daughter's school by 10 o'clock. It just never happened. And I had to come to the realization that I just wasn't going to get there in time. By the time as I did get home and I printed out the invitations and fold them, it gave me a moment to self-reflect. And this is what I want to talk about. Being self-aware of your energy level and looking at what's happening to you during that time. And how can you contain that? And how can you manage that? And I would not have been able to do that if I didn't self-reflect, if I didn't start the practice of self-reflection. And this was a discipline that I had learned some years ago when I was going through a very traumatic time in my life and I was being bombarded all the time by verbal and emotional abuse. And I had to learn how to respond to that wasn't going to ruin me, that wasn't going to cause me to become that kind of person. And so over time in that practice, I developed, a technique of self-reflecting. So that means to just sit for a moment and really just say and admit to yourself, okay, this is what I'm feeling. Now, where is this coming from? And I really had to backtrack through my morning. Was it really because I couldn't get the ink at Staples? Was it really because I couldn't get to my daughter's school in time? I didn't get there at 10, I got there at 11. I mean, an hour difference. Does she know? It wasn't that. And I started thinking back, and I remember the night before, I didn't sleep well. We had storms here for the past couple of nights, and it was keeping me awake with the wind and the windows shaking and all of this stuff, and I didn't sleep well. And I realized too that my coffee is the thing that gets my brain going in the morning. My coffee wasn't even kicking in. My coffee wasn't working. Nothing was working. Nothing could get me to the point where I could just feel like, okay, everything is going to be all right. I had to deal with it. I had to really deal with it, and I couldn't numb it away, which is what we try to do typically. We look for something to just, okay, let me get that drink. Let me smoke that cigarette. Let me have that coffee, that stimulant that's going to make it all better. And I couldn't do that. I had to sit in that, and then I had to ask myself the questions where it was coming from. Now, when you do that, and you recognize where it's coming from. Now, I'm not saying that it's just going to go away, but then at that point, what you can do is know that you can respond differently with the situation. It was 11 o'clock, 3 hours in, and I realized, Marjorie, you can control the rest of your day. Don't let this suck your energy level. I had so many phone calls to make. I had things that I wanted to do, and I couldn't do it because of my energy level. I couldn't pick up the phone and try to do business, and it was starting to ruin the rest of my day. So after I dropped the invitations off, I sat in the car, and I just asked myself, what is the next best thing to do? And the first thing that came to mind was walk it out. Now, I'm a runner. I like to run 3 times a week. And of course, I couldn't run in that weather, but I was already, my energy was where I didn't even feel like doing any sort of physical exercise. But it said walk it out. So I went to the park around the corner from my daughter's school. And as soon as I pulled in, I just got this sense to, and share and be vulnerable about what you're going through right now. Because there are people who deal with this on a daily basis, and they're little things. They go from little to huge things. And just tell them, this is what you did. So I decided to take the walk around the park and do a Facebook Live post and share that with others. And it's interesting, it's just like a 10-minute walk maybe. And I felt so much better because I got to talk about it and then I got to walk it out. Now, yes, I did it. We need that. It was a mommy timeout. I love it. And so I felt so much better, at the end of the day, and everything just sort of came well together because I had not even thought about this, as I was sharing about my energy level. And I said, it's something we all need to be aware of on a day-to-day basis is how we're spending our energy, what we're giving our energy to, and where is our energy, and maybe taking that mommy time out, even if it's in the middle of the day, and checking in and just saying, why am I feeling like this? Where's this really coming from? And being honest with ourselves. Because what I know about self-reflection is it's about honesty. It's honesty work with ourselves. We can't be true with ourselves first. We can't be truthful with anyone else. And that was such a huge part of my healing process as I was, going through that. And I'm a big proponent of personal responsibility. The buck stops with me. It starts with me, it stops with me. So I have to be very much aware of that. So, and then at the end of that, then as I was coming through, I said, you know what? And this is a great segue because I started to share about a writing workshop that I'm offering on Thursday because I used writing therapy. So when you talk, verbally talking something out is good, but writing something out is even, very healing. And so I found that as a way for women to take their pain and take their stories and writing out. So Thursday, I'm offering an hour-long visualization writing therapy workshop online, and I told everyone about it and shared it. And I said, this is interesting just how the universe works. I wasn't planning on doing a post. I wasn't planning on promoting it that way, but it all came well together. So I want you guys to know about that too. And you can check that out if you know someone or you yourself could use a visualization writing therapy to help you figure out what the next best step is for you. And it's a tool that you can use every single time. I've used this in my retreats before for women, and it's helped open up the door. So whenever they feel stuck about something, because our emotions and the story we keep telling ourselves can keep us stuck, we can't figure out what to do. And we're paralyzed and don't make that next move. So this will be a great way to start to open that up. So you can check it out on my website at marjoriephoenix.com. And I am everywhere on social media. I mean, everywhere. When I say everywhere, I mean everywhere, as Marjorie Phoenix. So if you're on Snapchat, if you're on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of that, please connect with me. And, let me know what's going on in your life. And I'm glad you were here too. Thank you so much. It's been a while since I've been on Periscope, but, I put it out there. I save the videos and I share it with everyone. So I hope it's blessed you. I look forward to seeing you guys' faces again soon. And like I always say at the end of my scopes, go out and change the world. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.